Well, Joe is doing the rounds, and he's trying to save his campaign with interviews.
What the hell are we doing, Joe? What are we doing? This is bizarre.
No.
It's a good question.
This is after he had a terrible night with George Stephanopoulos.
He just had a really bad cold.
And did you ever watch the debate afterwards?
I don't think I did, no.
Do you know how badly it was going?
Yeah.
So now he's doing call-in interviews with Joe Scarborough. Let's watch.
Joe Biden calling in to Morning Joe right now. Good morning, sir.
Hey, Mika, I'm more than presumption. I'm going to be the Democratic nominee.
Okay, before we go any further, what is the president calling on? An old rotary phone? Why is the sound so terrible? Is this supposed to install confidence in anyone when the supposed leader of the free world is calling from what sounds like a call center in India? Well, other than Rob Reiner.
Well, Mr. President, that leads to the letter that we just received a few minutes ago. And I'm curious, there's a part of it where you talk about the fact that you got 14 million votes, 87% of the vote. It was an open process. You only had 3 people running against you. You have 3,900 delegates. And then you ask this question, do we now just say the process didn't matter, that the voters didn't have a say? I'm curious, is that an allusion also to Donald Trump and the fact that Democrats, you believe, may now be doing the same thing that Donald Trump tried to do in 2020, and that is overthrow the popular will of Democratic voters?
Oh, Biden is playing the democracy card again, but this time against his own party. Oh, the irony.
And so I'm not getting any of what I was told. I wanted to make sure I was right, that the average voter out there still wanted Joe Biden. And I'm confident they do. And I'm confident, and like I said, the press is with me. I think they've been fairly fair. I haven't read any reporting they did today. But the fact is that, I think they have to acknowledge we had large crowds, enthusiastic crowds. And, and now they're talking about whether I use a prompter. Well, I did it all extemporaneously. The fact of the matter is, I was using prompters too. I don't get that. But at any rate, the bottom line here is that we're not going anywhere. I am not going anywhere. I wouldn't be running if I didn't absolutely believe that I am the best candidate to beat Donald Trump in 2024.
So apparently the Dems are stuck with Biden unless Jesus comes down and has a talk with him.
I convinced myself of 2 things. I'm the most qualified person to beat him, and I know how to get things done.
If you can be convinced that you cannot defeat Donald Trump, will you stand down?
It depends if the Lord Almighty comes out and tells me that, I might do that.
Now let's talk about his appearances the last few days without a teleprompter. Does this look like it went well for him?
You got me, man. I'm not going anywhere. All right. All right, I'll come back out when they open the gate, okay? Thank you. One last thing. I used to think when I was a senator, there were always congestion on the highways. There's no congestion anymore. None. We go on the highway, there's no congestion. And so the way they get me to stop talking, they'll say, we just shut down all the roads, Mr. President. You're going to lose all the votes if you don't get in. But anyway, I'll be back out. Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
And then there's this video where he totally messed with one of his black supporters. This was bad. This woman looks like her entire world has just been shattered, that everything she believed just came down into a crumbling mess.
Disappointed!
Now, the hosts are clearly freaking out with this response.
There are a lot of people of goodwill who love you, who believe you did a great job in your first term, who are still concerned. Yesterday, the topic came up of the Stephanopoulos interview, where you were asked the question, how would you feel if Donald Trump beat you? How would you feel after you lost? And you said, well, as long as I did the best I could do, that's the most important thing. That's caused Democrats concern who believe that losing is not an option.
Now remember, this was the response right after the debate.
I mean, it's fine to not spin what happened last night, and we're not going to.
But
Again,
by the way,
he had
Mika,
a terrible night.
Mika, everybody's calm here.
No,
you're the
but-
only one raising your voice.
No, no,
Everybody
no.
is calm here.
But again, it's the let's just immediately pull this. Let's end this. Let's find someone else.
That's not what Mike said.
That attitude toward this is what I am saying slow down on. Because, again, there's no spinning it. But let's be balanced. Let's, for once, show some balance in a media world that is so shrill with imbalance that we've become inured to the difference between these two candidates.
And we can't forget, this is Joe Scarborough just a few weeks ago.
This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
Now, did Biden even complete this sentence? Like, what is going on here?
It's not an option, and I've not lost. I haven't lost. I beat him last time. I'll beat him this time. And this is a guy who, look, we talk about debates. Look at his performance with debates. He lied over, Trump has 50 lies. Look, this is a guy who says 10% of the universe. I don't want to get into it. He's just a liar. And he hadn't done a damn thing since the debate. He's been riding around in a golf cart for 10 days, was down in Mar-a-Lago talking with his wealthy friend.
Now, the only reason Biden is bringing up the golf cart right now is because Donald Trump literally said Biden was finished. He had destroyed him. He was going to be out of the race. Here's the clip.
What did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh, amazing.
Kicked that old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, He's quitting the race.
Is that right?
Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic.
It's so amazing.
It's just so fucking bad. So
I just can't imagine.
But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man, a very tough guy. And they see him, they probably he can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting.
And I have to say, if Trump leaked this, it was genius of him, because it clearly got to Biden's ego if he is referencing it, and likely had a role to play in him not dropping out.
I don't care what the millionaires think. And by the way, 97% of all the people who contribute to us are people making under 200, contributing under $200. I think we have the largest contingent ever in history. I'm not positive of that, but I think that's true.
Now, at this point, Biden is just making facts up. He's on the phone and probably being told what to say, and he still can't answer correctly.
How can you assure the American people that you won't have another night like the one you did in Atlanta?
Look at my career. I've not had many of those nights. It was a terrible night, and I really regret it happened. But the fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be on Faith That Can Intervene on your way to go to, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea I'm too old.
All I have to say in response to this is a second debate is going to be glorious.
And I have a neurological test every single day. Try sitting behind this desk and making these decisions. You know it. Both of you know it. They know it. I'm not bad at what I do. And now, it doesn't mean I never make a mistake. I do. But I'm making those decisions.
Now, Joe Biden has tried this excuse before, but I don't know who he's trying to convince. He sure isn't convincing these two.
Mr. President, if anybody in my family had a night like that, like if my Joe had a night like that, or my kids or anybody, I'd I'd probably want to do some sort of workup and medical workup and make sure he's okay. Have you been tested for any age-related illnesses, pre-Parkinson's, or anything like that that might explain sort of having a night like that where you couldn't finish sentences?
Look, I had before, I was feeling so badly before the debate. When I came back, they tested me for, I thought maybe I had COVID, maybe there was something wrong, I had an infection or something. They tested me, they gave me those tests, I was clear. So, but look, I had a bad night. But the fact of the matter is, look at what I'm doing. I mean, let me put it this way. If there was something that was wrong that night, it's not like it comes and that's one night and it goes away. That's why I've been out. I've been testing myself, been testing everywhere I go, going out and making the case.
Now it's official. Joe will not take a test and he thinks he is fine. Mika tries to convince him, but Joe Biden refuses to listen to anyone. Now it's kind of funny, Joe is really angry people are saying he is losing black support. It's true, he can get angry at it, but it's true.
Remember all this talk about how I don't have the black support? Come on, give me a break. Come with me, watch. I'm getting so frustrated by the elites. Now, I'm not talking about you guys, but about the elites in the party who they know so much more.
Now, Joe has several gaffes here, but this one is a beauty.
I mean, everything he said, you know, he largely fixed COVID. You kidding me? And what happened? Nobody said anything. Nobody said anything except me and the folks out there in the local, race,
Now, let's just be clear. Joe has had a really bad week. His campaign got caught giving out questions to reporters ahead of time, and then he had to promise he wasn't going to do that anymore. He got caught rambling in front of a bunch of people multiple times. Now time is running out for the Dems to replace Biden. There's not much time left. If they're gonna do something, they better do it soon. Anyways, do you think the Democrats are going to stick with Biden, or will he be eventually replaced in the end? Let me know in the comments. Could you also like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content? It just helps the algorithm along. And if you want to know how bad Biden's debate performance really was, click here.